In less than 72 hours henceforth, exactly Tuesday the 13th of June 2023, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is expected to inaugurate the 10th National Assembly. Meanwhile, Nigerians are at the moment witnessing what could go down as the tightest race for the principal offices of the two chambers of the National Assembly ever. Dr. John Harry is a member of the All Progressive Congress, and he joins us now to offer his thoughts.
There's been argument over the APC party supremacy regarding the choice of candidate for the Senate leadership race, as it were. Is that a good thing, or should the 10th Assembly members should be allowed to select one of them as the leader?
Well, thank you very much for this opportunity. I'd like to state, clearly that, before you have the 10th Assembly, there is a party, the government, and the party has made its position very clear that they have a preferred candidate. And I believe that you must be party first before you get to the Assembly. So I think that should be the starting point. The considerations for party unity, for peaceful coexistence within the party, it is always appropriate that the party would set the standards and set the direction for what they want in the Assembly.
All right, Dr. Harry, I would like to find out from you. A lot of people have said religious sentiment should not play a huge role in determining who actually becomes the leader of the 10th National Assembly in terms of the Senate. Some are saying that competence should play a huge role. Some have said the party's will should actually prevail. And some have said, as it stands, like Nee just pointed out, that the members of the 10th National Assembly should be given the opportunity to choose who they feel will be able to lead them aright. Talk to us, putting all this into the mix, what do you think should be the deciding factor in determining who becomes the leaders in the 10th National Assembly?
I have a very strong bias for competence, for experience, and for capacity. So when people talk about regional issues or regional considerations, for me it is secondary. For me, I look at what the consideration should be about competence, experience, and who has the right pedigree to add to leadership in the Nigerian project. That is my consideration. And I believe strongly that this should be the focus of senators-elect who are going to be in the Assembly next week in considering and identifying who would have the right pedigree to lead them in the 10th Assembly. So my considerations are centered around competence, capacity, and experience.
But Dr. Harry, permit me to actually just comment. For those who say religious proclivities should play a huge role in determining who becomes the leader of the Senate, for example, based on the fact that we do have a Muslim ticket or a Muslim president and vice president, do they have a point here?
No, well, for me, like I said, it is secondary. Because there are people, school of thought, that say, look, if you have a president who's a Muslim, you have a vice president who's a Muslim, and then you're having a Senate president who is a Muslim, and maybe a speaker who is also a Muslim. People consider that. But what are we looking at? My consideration primarily is that who has the right competence to lead the National Assembly? That's my consideration first, primarily. Secondary issues could come in. But like you had this kind of situation before now when we were going into the presidential elections, the APC decided to go with a Muslim ticket. And a lot of people went against that. But that consideration was the fact that, look, we are a team that will take Nigeria to the next level. We are a team that will renew the hope of Nigerians. And within the last 2 weeks, you've seen what direction that leadership has given. People are getting to even forget that we are operating a Muslim ticket now. In the less than 2 weeks, you can see what leadership is and what direction they're heading to. So I believe strongly that any consideration that would be good for the country, that would be good for this project called Nigeria, would be that of competence, that of capacity, and that of experience.
Very good, Dr. Harry. I know you've said regional consideration is secondary to you, but Let's take a look at the issue of zoning, which is another factor in the selection option for a candidate. But looking at the composition of party representatives in the 10th Senate at the moment, how would you assess lobbying to get the right man for the job? Because whether we like it or not, zoning has been on the front burner for some time now.
Come again, please.
Yes, I would like to delve into the issue of zoning, which has come over time regarding the selection of candidates for the Senate presidency. What are your thoughts there? And I would like us to also look at the lobbying playing out to get the right man for the job.
Well, yeah, the issue of zoning is very critical because every zone in Nigeria has a stake in the Nigerian project. And it is right and appropriate that you must be able to share positions for peaceful coexistence and easy running of government. So I believe in zoning, and rightly, and I think the party had decided to zone the position in the Senate to the south side, and specifically they had a preferred candidate in the person of His Excellency Senator Godswill Akpabio. And I believe strongly that the party had their considerations when they did that, and they believe strongly that, look, this is the right character, this is the right man who will be able to drive and bring leadership to the National Assembly. So I seem to have a very strong bias for the person, because this is somebody I know very well, who I have worked with in the past, I know who has the right pedigree to lead the National Assembly. And more so, if you look at hindsight experience, you find out that, look, this is somebody that has an established competence, achievements, and performance in the various offices he has held in the past. And I believe that that is what we should be looking at. We should look at who would partner with the president to be able to deliver on what the challenges are in this country today. So for me, I believe strongly that the consideration for around the ability to drive this position is what concerns us as a group in the good governance structure.
All right, Dr. Harry, do you think, some would say that the infighting in the APC in terms of where, or the direction of where the leadership should go, will open a big opportunity for the opposition to probably stake a huge claim on the leadership of the 10th National Assembly. Do you think so?
It is very important and very instructive to note here that there is none of us that will be inside the hallowed chambers on that day. This is only a decision that will be taken around the 109 members of the Senate. They would decide on who their leader should be. So I believe strongly that our appeal should be the consideration around them. We should be appealing to some of us who relate with some of these senators-elect and who have a close relation with them, a close relationship with them, and who, for reasons of acquaintance and relationship, should be able to share thoughts with them that, look, for us, your consideration should be on who will be able to do the job. It should be around the most appropriate personality and a leader that will be able to deliver on what is required of him as the leader of the National Assembly, of the 10th Senate in the National Assembly. That is my consideration.
Very good. Dr. John Harry, APC Chieftain, would like to thank you for your perspective on the race for the 10th Senate leadership. Good to have you.